All right, we're going to go right into the final thinning. What's the ratio right now? Let's see. Let's do millimeters. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. 68 at the widest part divided by 11. 6:1. 68 millimeter divided by 11 millimeter. 6:1, something like that. So to get it thinner than 6:1 is going to be risky. Yeah. Normally when you get to 5:1, it starts getting risky. 6:1, it is risky for sure, and then thinner than that is very risky. But it also depends on the material. Some materials are able to hold better, resist the forces of breaking better than other materials. Glass is highly brittle, so I'm not going to try to go much thinner. And it's kind of tedious because now I have to be even more careful the way I prepare these edges than I was doing earlier. Which is fine because I don't want to spend too much time and energy getting exhausted with the earlier stages. I want to be able to be well rested, or at least not totally exhausted for this very difficult stage. The final thinning is usually a nail biter. So the worst thing is this lump here. Let's see if I can get that out. Everything is pretty convex. Nicely convex, although I could probably improve that edge with pressure flaking, so let's do that. I could improve the edge with percussion, but pressure flaking is so much more accurate. Yeah. Yeah, that's so accurate. I can be very precise. And I don't do that from the beginning because it wears me out. I had to pace myself. Some guys don't have to worry about that. They can do this easily without getting worn out. Yeah, they can just take their time, 4 hours on a single point. No problem at all. I think 2 hours, I start to really feel like I'm getting sick of it. One hour is bad enough. So I'm preparing the edge for some percussion strikes into this mess there. All this is being done so I can have options to remove this and thin down the base area in general. It's still pretty thick. Now, the way I like to knap, I usually leave the bases a little bit thicker in general than the tips, because if this is going to be a knife, I like to have a lot of thickness down here in the hafting area so it doesn't snap right across. If I was going to make a knife out of this, I wouldn't take too much off of that. Just enough to get rid of that bulge and keep it thick like this, like 6:1, where I haft it so it won't snap right there. But in this case, I'm not going to make a knife blade. I'm just going to make a general blade. It's leaf shaped. It can be a knife blade, but it's not. It doesn't have a tang. It's not going to have a tang on it. It's going to have a stem, yes, but not one of those modern looking knife tangs. Okay, so it does feel like high grade glass because it's not crushing as I'm pushing on it with the pressure flaker. A lower grade glass will just start crushing right away. This is kind of forgiving, although I did abrade it quite a bit. Still, a lower grade glass will crush even though you abrade it a lot. And this is actually pretty durable material. Yeah. I would use it as a knife. Yeah. The edge is pretty durable, actually. Okay. Not all glass is created equal. And sometimes you can't even compare it to Obsidian. This does not feel like Obsidian. Not even the high-grade Obsidian. This is a little bit different. Yeah. I don't know. I can't explain it. It just feels tougher. But at the same time, it's easier to predict. Okay, let's see if I can get rid of that lump. Where's the best area to strike? Theoretically, yeah, because there's no formula for this. It's just whatever seems to be good. I have to be careful because I can still snap the tip off even though I've thinned it. Hitting the base like this is risky. Let's see. Did it travel? I think it traveled. Yes. Yeah. And I did manage to get that bump removed with the ending of the flake. Yeah. So that was sweet. Lucky. Because it could have terminated before that. So I took the option that was in the middle of fairly easy and not so easy. So I took a shot right in the middle. This would have been an easier strike, but I went for that one. If that didn't work, I would just shoot this one. Yeah. So I had a plan B. Yep. Now I can just smooth it further, but I've got to watch it because it's still a little lumpy right there. I'm going to make sure my flaking is going to be able to smooth that whole area out. Give it that nice, neat, modern look. Did it do it? Yeah, I think it did, but it wanted to dive a little bit. See that? It wanted to dive in just a little. See, because it hinged. It didn't step fracture, but it wanted to dive in a little bit. It popped out, but it wanted to dive in just a little bit. Yeah, that's not. So that's not good, right? That indicates that that's like the maximum length that I can expect without that little defect, that little hinge at the end. I want it to be nice and feathery. Yeah. Let's see. Hit it from the other side. Get rid of that hinge. Perfect. Yeah. Now there's just, you can barely tell where it was hinged. It's nice and smooth. And I will continue to make it thinner. Being very careful not to strike too hard or try to bite off more than I can chew. I don't want flakes to go too far and start to dive. That just barely qualifies as a feathery termination. Barely. There's a slight hinge there. At the end of this last flake, yeah, it wanted to go in and dive a little bit. But I can live with that termination. Yeah. So it looks like I'm gonna, oh, can you see that? It does have like a very, very slight hinge at the end. It's okay. I don't know what I'm gonna make out of this. I'm just going for a leaf-shaped blade, I guess. But I wanted to show you the final thinning on it. As thin as I want to go. I don't want to go much thinner than this. I'll just go as thin as I think would be safe. Yeah. And as thin as I can go without crunching all these edges. There's going to be some crunching. And some bites taken out, yeah. Oh well, let's see. It is going to be hinging a little bit. Yeah, get your convexometers out to measure the convexity. You need some convexometers to avoid the hinges and the step fractures and the diving. The convexometer is in your subconscious. Only after thousands of hits do you know what is a good convexity. Sometimes you can get away with not having much convexity. Sometimes you need a lot of convexity. So you won't get those hinges and step fractures. And no diving either. The convexometer is honed with practice. Yeah. It's calibrated, I should say. The skill is honed. The detection equipment is calibrated. The subconscious has detection equipment. Oh yes. Measuring devices. Subconscious measuring devices. Yikes, that's not good. It's not good to hit it and nothing happen. But I think I can quit right there. And then just sharpen it. Let's see. Where is my... I got a tool that I can try to pick that out. Where is it from? It's from that side? So it looks like it's nice and smooth. I don't want to go too much thinner than this and risk messing up the middle because I like it. Yeah, let's see. There is a step fracture here. Yeah, let me run one or two flakes in there to see if I can get rid of that. Remember, I want a smooth, modern look, so I can't have those artifact-looking steps and little imperfections. Artifacts always have these little imperfections. There's some people out there that are thinking maybe I should make a Clovis or something out of this stuff. Yeah. I don't know, maybe. I could make an unfluted Clovis. But people don't like it when I say that. Yeah. It's a cop-out. They think it's a cop-out. But there is such a thing. Not all Clovises were fluted. And it is kind of a cop-out because I don't want to do the flutes for sure. So you are kind of correct about that. But there's no need to do the flute. As long as you thin down the base enough to haft it like you normally would haft it, we don't need no stinking flutes. Come on. There is drawbacks to having a very high grade glass. It's kind of durable, and it makes you hit harder than you want to hit. And if I hit too many times with nothing happening, it creates incipient cracks, which are not good at all. It messes your day up, and it's a complete mystery. It can be a complete mystery, like, why did it do that? See, these flakes are breaking up, right? So that was, if all these flakes coming off were solid, I wouldn't worry about thinning it too much. I wouldn't worry about thinning it more and thinning it too much. But these flakes are breaking up. So that means that it's kind of brittle. It feels tough, like it can hold a real good edge. But I can't let that interfere with the feeling that I can only go just a little bit thinner. And that's it. It's starting to get finicky. Okay, all right. But it helps now that it's very smooth, right? So anything that I remove has that advantage of traveling on a smooth surface. Yeah. Let me see. Can I pop those out? It didn't terminate well. See how it's starting? These flakes are breaking up. And yeah, it could be for other reasons too, like the material is doing that. But it also has to do with the length. The length compared to the convexity. If I wanted to be very technical, I could make a ratio on the length compared to the convexity and start keeping track of how successful each strike is and develop a length and convexity ratio for this particular piece. So for a certain length, you need a certain convexity to be safe. I could develop that sort of ratio, or I could figure that out, but I don't like getting that technical. No. Not for this, anyway. I might get that technical if I have to on the Cody points. I knew that was going to happen. Sometimes it saves time to think about the real technical stuff. When you're not napping, you just kind of think about what you can do to increase your awareness. And then you try it out when you're napping. So, I mean, I could increase my awareness of the length to convexity ratio, especially when it comes to making regular or parallel flaking or collateral flaking, something that creates a regular pattern or a sequential pattern. But we'll see. I think I just need to practice more, but not overdo it. As soon as I feel like I'm getting burnt out again, I'm just going to stop instead of pushing through. Because every time I get tired of doing a certain point and then pushing through to do more of those, I don't want to go back to it the next time.